Well, hello and welcome. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, has dropped episode 2 of her podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, and her guest is Rashma Saojani, the tenacious founder who built 2 successful nonprofits that close the gender gap for women. But before we get into that, we have an exclusive cover story on the Duke of Sussex. And he has spoken about his love for Meghan, her success, and so much more. So we can recap that, and then we will get straight into Meghan's podcast, where they had a very insightful conversation. So let's get into the first story of the day. Into an exclusive where Prince Harry opened up to People magazine. So their article here says, Prince Harry couldn't be prouder of Meghan's success in her business ventures. The Duke of Sussex has been a constant supportive presence as his wife stepped back into the spotlight this spring with the launch of her Netflix show With Love Meghan in March and the debut of her lifestyle brand As Ever, which sold out its entire production line in under an hour. Harry told People in this week's exclusive cover story, quote, I'm so happy for my wife and fully support absolutely everything she's done and continues to do. I'm incredibly proud, end quote. He also made a brief appearance in his wife's show, appearing in the final episode during a celebratory brunch for Meghan's business. When Harry arrived, the two leaned in and shared a quick kiss, and Harry told her, You did a really great job. I love it. In addition to her show and lifestyle brand, Meghan also recently launched her new podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, which I've just covered here. And Harry's love for his family, the article continues to say, is fueling his fight for security protection in the UK as the long-running legal battle hits a critical pitch. Harry has become a familiar figure in Britain's courtrooms, fighting back against the tabloid press with unyielding resolve. But the case to restore his state-funded official security, which was removed in 2020 after he and Meghan stepped back from royal duties, has always mattered the most. The bid isn't just a legal appeal for him, it is a fight to protect Meghan and their children, and perhaps a final chance at reconciliation with his father, King Charles. So the article here goes on to talk about the relationship between Harry and his father, and then talks about the Duke of Sussex's core belief that the stripping of his security was a calculated attempt to control him and Meghan, to deter them from stepping away from royal life and starting a new chapter outside of the UK. In Harry's perspective, the decision only revealed the lengths the palace was willing to take and became his final straw. He admits that this realization was difficult to swallow, in quotes, and deepened a rift that was already raw. Harry feels that his father, the king, who is the ceremonial head of state, could easily intervene and have his security reinstated, though the palace has consistently denied this. For the Duke, it echoes the painful history of his childhood. He sees chilling parallels between his own situation and that of his late mother, Princess Diana, who after her divorce from Charles in 1996 was left without police protection. And now Harry is determined to avoid anything negative happening to him, Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet. His lawyer, Shahid, said, quote, his presence here and throughout this appeal is a potent demonstration of how much this appeal means to him and to his family, end quote. The piece here also goes on to say that Harry's calls and letters to King Charles have continued to go unanswered. And the estrangement is so profound, the article says, that Harry learned of his father's March 27th hospitalization related to complications from treatment through the media. Also, they noted that during each of Harry's 3 last UK visits, King Charles has been unavailable, including this month, as we all know. Harry here does point out through the article that he is continuing on the fight for police protection. He says that he wants Archie and Lily to connect with their UK roots, experience their heritage, and build relationships with extended family. As we all know, he also does have the Spencer side of the family that he loves, who have embraced him, and I'm sure that they would love to get a chance to meet Archie and Lily. So that is a huge priority for the Duke of Sussex. With this piece continuing to say that much of the hearing was conducted in private because of the sensitive nature of the court case, with some revelations brought to light that Harry said people would be shocked by what's being held back, in quotes. Following the hearing, a source close to Harry's legal team said that they were cautiously optimistic about the outcome and a ruling is expected in the coming weeks. And a source close to the situation said of Harry that he feels very strongly this is something he must fight for. So this is a very important update I wanted to add here. Harry has given more information concerning his quest concerning police protection and his desire that it be restored to him and to Meghan and his children because, of course, he is a very high-profile figure, first and foremost, a prince of the realm. And I think it is his right to continue to fight for this. He is so much in the right. So let's continue to pray for the Duke of Sussex and share your thoughts and highlights on this in the comment section below. So that's the first story of the day. And now Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, has dropped episode 2 of her podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder. And her guest is Rashma Saojani, the tenacious founder who built 2 successful nonprofits that close the gender gap for women. Meghan met Rashma years ago when Girls Who Code was expanding into the UK. So Meghan shared that this conversation would be a time for her to reconnect and dig into the real talk about building, balancing, and breaking through. And Meghan added, with babies no less. How's that for some alliteration? So there were a lot of nuggets in the episode, and I'm going to share with you some of my highlights here. Meghan talked about missing her kids. She is just your typical mom. On the episode of her podcast, she shared how she often finds herself yearning for Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, who are 5 and 3 years old. She described the familiar parental longing for a break, only to find herself missing her children the moment she stepped away as well. Meghan talked with her guest about her having the title of mom. And she said this, quote, I love being a mom. Oh my gosh, I love being a mom so much. It's my favorite thing. It is the thing where you're like, oh my gosh, I just need a break. I just need a minute. And then the second you step into the other room, you go, oh, let me just scroll through pictures of them endlessly on my phone, end quote. So she also said that Harry tells her, my love, can you just give yourself a minute? Why don't you just go work out? Why don't you just go take a bath? And she's like, I know, I just want to cuddle from them, Meghan tells him. She said it was the parenting paradigm where it's so full on, and she said she wouldn't trade it for anything. And of course, that's a sentiment that many parents can share. So for those of you who are connecting with that, kindly share that in the comments section. Meghan also spoke about parenting throughout the pandemic, and she said this, quote, but I think what's really key about what you said and the pandemic may have been the thing that shifted this. When working from home and parenting from home, where they are completely converged, can feel incredibly overwhelming, end quote. And just to pivot on that, Meghan did open up about this very same topic in her first podcast on the advantages of remote work as well, saying Lilibet, when she wakes up, she knows where to find her, and she's on her lap, sometimes in very high-powered meetings. And she said she wouldn't have it any other way. So share if you do that for the parents in the comments section. So Meghan also talked about juggling her lifestyle business as ever with the demands of parenting, especially when her little ones aren't feeling so well. Saying, quote, my kids, for example, right now, one has RSV and the other has influenza A. I hear the little pitter-patter of feet upstairs. They're home from school, cough syrup all night and rubbing the back, you go. And we still find a way to show up for both, end quote. So Meghan advised other female founders to be honest with their colleagues and their business stakeholders about what might be going on in their personal lives. I love this quote. She said this, just be honest in the journey of it, she said, going on to add, yeah, I'm going to show up for you, but I'm going to show up for you in my sweatshirt today because I've been up all night with my babies. I'm still going to be able to show up for both because both matter and both are what keep my cup full, she said. And I absolutely love that, how candid it is. She is someone who has this massive business which is sold out, and she has a lot of obligations as well. And at the same time, she's also telling us how she keeps it balanced. And I love how her guest also added in, it's not black and white. People want something in the middle. The parents would want to be able to fulfill their work obligations and at the same time be able to drop off their kids to school and pick them up and be there, hug, kiss, cuddle their children as well. So I love that. I'm happy to have Meghan here talking about building billion-dollar businesses and also engaging in girl talk, woman to woman, advice on building your dreams and also talking about the things that are so personal to them. I absolutely love seeing these women who are so influential, prominent, opening up, being candid, and also talking about her experiences. Meghan once again opened up saying this, quote, "With that comes the woman who is juggling it all and doing it all from home, being confident enough to tell the truth about what's going on, because you can't give grace to someone in the same way if you just have no sense of it," end quote. And in an emotional part of the podcast, Meghan and Rashma spoke about miscarriage. Meghan, as we know, has also opened up about her own miscarriage in 2020. Now, Rashma herself has endured multiple miscarriages due to an autoimmune condition. And as they both reflected on the emotional process of having to let go of a deeply cherished hope, Meghan expressed, quote, "I'll bring this up if you're comfortable talking about it. I have spoken about the miscarriage we experienced, and I think in some parallel way, when you have to learn to detach from the thing that you have so much promise and hope for, and to be able to be okay at a certain point to let something go that you plan to love for a long time," end quote. So Rashma herself shared a very deeply personal experience, how she tried for so many years to get pregnant, having miscarriages because, as I mentioned, she had an autoimmune issue, and she would get into a scary habit where she would be in the doctor's office and they would be telling her that there was no heartbeat. But she said that there was such an emotional toll it took on her, revealing, quote, "I should have just gone home and gone to sleep and curled up with my husband, but I would just take a breath and I would just show up in a living room, on a stage, and perform. And oftentimes I was just performing to these children that I desperately wanted, and I just got really good at that, but it was eating me up inside," end quote, she said. And Rashma also told Meghan about the quote that she says when Meghan says her most important title is mom. And Rashma was so vulnerable in that moment, as she said she so desperately wanted that title, and you could feel Meghan resonating with her. What a revelation right there. Just both of them talking about these deeply personal experiences and letting people in a way that I think not many people who are on that level of notoriety would. And also just showing that they too have faced things and have overcome massive challenges as well. And there was a silver lining as they both now expressed their joy in being mothers, Meghan saying that it was her most cherished role. Meghan said to her, "Now you have the title of mom, just like me. Favorite title, love it. Oh my gosh, I love being a mom so much," Meghan said enthusiastically. And even as Meghan said a bit later, as a female founder, it takes courage, in the midst of it all, in the grind, in the mothering and all of that, just to pause and tell people that they need help or they need to pause. And Meghan herself, I'm going to say this here, she has demonstrated that courage and strength in the midst of all of the expectations at that time. Remember that moment where she went on that documentary and told people that she was not okay. Dropping the facade and the mask, I think, is so important. And it was wonderful to hear these two women being so forthright and sincere about the things that they have gone through in their experiences, telling us all of the behind the scenes. Loving that. And Meghan once again highlighting the importance of honesty, even saying that she was juggling it from home and also having confidence enough to tell the truth about what was going on, especially as she said when her children were not feeling well, and she still would find a way to show up for both. Of course, she has Harry by her side and her mother, Doria. She has a great support system as well that are always around her, so I love that. So Meghan reflected on Rashma's choice to leave her nonprofit role and compared it with her own break from public life, saying, quote, "When you don't have power, you're not important anymore. Being able to let it go and give someone else that light, knowing it was actually going to diminish my power, but that was the point." She further talked about the personal growth involved in stepping away from the spotlight, adding, quote, "That is a lot of growth. That takes people a tremendous amount of time to settle into being able to do that and to not feel rattled when the phone's not ringing, to not feel rattled when you stepped out of the light, so to speak. But as you step out of the light, you're actually stepping into your own light in a different way and creating space for someone else to be in the light, which is probably the larger purpose of all of us being here," end quote. Wow, listen to that. She is so mature. And I think that's something a lot of people in the public eye can relate to, especially those, for example, Meghan's background in acting. They know that being visible is so important. But as you've seen, Meghan has a lot of value, and even in her and Harry being to themselves at moments and also being out in the public, they found that balance and people want more of them, which is quite interesting. It's a paradox. As they are not so exposed, it's like their currency goes up, if you know what I mean. Just take the sale of As Ever, selling out in one day. And Meghan herself is such a powerhouse. You can imagine just how much marketing it takes to launch merch and to make sure that one is able to sell out. And for many people to have a product to move like that, the amount of marketing that they would have to have done. And you can see with Meghan, she just put it out on her Instagram. She had her As Ever account on Instagram, and Netflix as well. They did their part. Compare this. The launch of As Ever is so different because traditionally there would be a press tour for the product, massive influencer unboxings in advance of the product, but it was a soft rollout. A few people had their hands on the As Ever product, and when it launched, it just flew off of the shelves. Yes, Netflix did their part. They are partner with Meghan, But all in all, it was Meghan's branding machine where she was able to push this product all of the way, and it has this intimacy in the way that she was able to market it to us in our inboxes, in our email, through her Instagram and her As Ever account. And you've got to tip your hat to that because even the experts are giving Meghan her flowers. It is amazing how she was able to curate this brand, cut the costs of marketing substantially, and sell out with product launch. So Meghan is her own brand. She is her own marketing. When she wears things, they sell out. When she says this is something to buy of her own goods, they fly off the shelves. As far as an entrepreneur, she is top tier. We are so proud of her. And here she is in this environment, just having this girl talk moment, being honest and blunt about some of the things that they have gone through. And it's wonderful to see her not having this facade of perfection. You got to hand it to her. Conversation, having them opening up these heavyweights, sharing these very personal moments. And there is just so much. So share your thoughts, highlights, and standouts with us on this in the comment section below. As always, before we log off, allow me here to thank those of you who support this channel financially and shout out a couple of you here by name. A very special thank you to you. Patricia Benjamin, allow me here to say thank you for your care and kindness. Words are not enough to express how much you mean to me. Your unconditional support has been priceless. Thank you for always being a part of this community. I appreciate you. I love you, and God bless. A very special thank you as well to you, Henrietta Palmer, who once again has been so tremendously supportive of my work here on YouTube. I appreciate you for choosing to accompany me here on this journey. Your altruism is admirable, and I can't thank you enough for your loving support. God bless you and yours. Thank you. And now a very special thank you to those who gave through Super Thanks. Thank you to you, Alma Andrews, who once again has been such a light to this channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to be a part of this community. Everyone should have a friend like you. I pray for you. I'm always thinking about you. Thank you for your constant support and encouragement. You mean so much to me, and I'm grateful to God for you. May God bless you and yours exceedingly abundantly above. I love you. We love you. thank you. Once again, thank you to all who support this channel financially, to those who like, comment, and share. I appreciate you all. If you liked this update, give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, follow on social media. Links will be in the cards and in the pinned comment. I love you all. Have a great day. Keep it here for more, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a blessed one.